there's different forms of regulation, which sounds strange, doesn't it? Because there's sort of financial regulation, and then there's sort of the legal court of law of the country as well. And one and two are not the same things. Like you can have a financial framework, but if you do something wrong, you're in big trouble, and you can go to jail. Or you can have a financial framework, but the way of law that it's not falsely sort of instructed. We quite often get asked this question in payments, which annoys the hell out of merchants because they'll get told, hey, you're high risk, or this is slightly risky, and they go, what does that mean? and they're absolutely right, because there are different shades of risk. You might be a travel business and you're risky because what happens if your airline stops flying, like what happened in COVID. Suddenly you then have to refund all of those tickets that you've been selling over the last 12 months. Do you have that money to hand? Is there the cash flow there? So there is so many different shades of, us in payments, whereby we have to take a sort of a look at what that person or business is doing in order to sort of break down really then the roadmap, understand that risk. And that needs to be done sort of country by country as well. You have to have an understanding, not just what's sort of as a popular payment method, that's almost taken for granted, but what's actually going to work, what's the risk, thinking about that cross-border element again. How am I going to collect that money? How's it going to be coming to me?